Let's take now an opportunity to discuss the politics here and the potential opportunity and the potential downside with one of the best minds in the business, Democratic strategist James Carville. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Nice to be here.
Boy, this is like tailor-made from Joe from Scranton, isn't it? Get in there and show that he can make a deal at a time that people are questioning him, and there's all this distraction with legal issues surrounding his son. Isn't this a great opportunity for him to get in there and make it about this and what matters?
Well, I'm not certain how much I think the president can do that. He's sending Gene Sperling, who is an enormously talented guy. He worked for me in 1992. I had to run him out the office because he'd worked like 48 hours in a row. He was a hygiene risk. But I can assure you, we got the administration is sending a first-class guy there. But the truth of the matter is, these companies and these unions, they're going to butt heads. But I think the union has a pretty good case to make for a pretty substantial raise. I mean, if you started there after 2007, some of them they're making like $18 an hour. I see fast food jobs in South Mississippi, South Louisiana going for $12.50 an hour. I mean, these are skilled, hardworking people, and I think they're honestly underpaid, and I think the union has got a good bargaining point. They're not going to win everything, but these guys deserve to get more than they're getting, I think.
Well, let's see what nobody's going to know who Gene Sperling is. I grew up knowing him as Gino. He worked for my father, Mario Cuomo, a tough little guy on the basketball court with a very big brain. You're getting a lot of attention for suggesting that Biden's poll numbers are a real problem that are due consideration. Well, what kind of consideration? The party's obviously not going to make a move on Biden, right?
Look, the Democratic Party are the people that vote in it. Okay, that's the party. The party are the people that vote in primaries. It's not my opinion that matters. The huge numbers of Democrats think that the president has to address the age issue, that he's too old. The country's kind of, all I'm telling you is what the country wants a different choice. Now, I'm just telling people what time it is. It really doesn't matter what one person thinks, but you can't look across a broad spectrum of polls over a long period of time that basically all say the same thing and act like that's not happening, because it is. And I think most senior Democrats, Washington Democrats, I would consider myself one, really like and admire President Biden. But the Democratic voters seem to be signaling that they have concerns, and they're looking for some different choices here. And that is clear to anyone. That is inarguable.
I think the hedge position is to have primaries on the vice president's position. The party could do it. It can do whatever it wants. They're not creatures of law. They're tradition. They have their own rules. And it would be a hedge against Biden's age. Let there be a robust debate about who is the vice president. Maybe Kamala Harris wins. And then you have a ticket where people are like, okay, if the president can't make it, we have confidence in this person.
Yeah, Chris, I be respectful of this. I know that you're saying what people are saying. I think that's a uniquely stupid idea. Because if you're going to nominate somebody for president, he's got to run the country. Well, you got to have enough confidence in that person that he can pick the vice president that he best thinks he can work for. And if you start saying, well, we want to nominate you for president, but we don't trust your judgment as to who you're going to pick as vice president, I think that's a horribly contradictory message to send out. And I think that, again, that's the uniquely bad.
Well, then how do you deal with the age issue and the fact that Kamala Harris doesn't rate well in your party as an offset to Biden's age issue? What do you do then? I'll take a stupid idea over no idea.
Well, the way people have concerns, and it's legitimate for them to have it. I can't say we need to pivot to the real issues. In people's minds, and people come up to me all the time. I've known that they call me James, and they say, I'm really worried. There's real concern. It has to be addressed. The vice president's numbers are pretty tepid, but if the president has confidence and he wants to run with that vice president, and he is the nominee, we're not there yet. Whoever the Democrats nominate, we have to have enough confidence in that person in their judgment that they can pick the vice president that they want.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.